So can I take out a personal loan to pay for my deposit or not? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Eva, a mortgage professional talking all things finance. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about acceptable deposit sources. So obviously when you're looking at buying a house, especially if it's for the very first time, you'll need to put down some sort of deposit. Now nowadays, you're able to put down just 5%, but the more you put down, the better rate you can actually get on your mortgage. So if you can put down more, put down more. So for the purposes of this video, I've actually pulled data from 7 major UK banks and what their requirements actually are, what they do accept and what they don't accept. So make sure you watch right until the end to find out what conclusion I've actually come to. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So the general consensus of doing all of this and doing all that research was that different lenders will actually accept different things. There were some common themes, however, some lenders surprised me in that they went totally against that theme. So here's what I found. So most of the 7 banks that I researched will not accept personal loans as a source of deposit. However, there was one that does. But an important thing to remember here is that when you take out a personal loan to use towards your deposit, that will go against your affordability, so you won't actually be able to borrow as much as you need to. So be very, very careful if you are considering getting a personal loan to fund your deposit. And if you do decide to take out a personal loan, be very careful, as that dramatically reduces the amount of lenders that you can actually obtain a mortgage from. So despite there being some that will accept it, the pool is currently very, very small. Now another very interesting finding was that gifted deposits are normally only accepted from blood relatives, so the likes of your parents, brothers, sisters, aunties, that type of thing. However, I did find some lenders that would accept gifted deposits from third parties, but once again, this dramatically reduces the pool of available lenders who are actually willing to consider this. Most will only accept gifted deposits from family members. And also remember that if said family member or friend or whoever is gifting you the deposit, if they're expecting repayment of that money, it is not a gifted deposit and cannot be taken into account, as that way it'll be classed as a loan and has to be included within your affordability. So be very careful about that as well. Now the third interesting one was cryptocurrency, which obviously is a very hot topic right now. Now some lenders are completely fine with the deposit coming from cryptocurrency. However, if it is derived from cryptocurrency, you do actually have to convert it back into pounds and have it sitting in your bank account for at least 3 months. Some lenders will also go as far as wanting to see the initial source, so obviously the amount you initially invested into cryptocurrency if it was quite recent. But some lenders will not accept it whatsoever. They're totally against it and will not accept it. So once again, it does limit the amount of lenders that you can actually approach. So those 3 there just highlight the importance of using an independent mortgage advisor who can actually tell you which lenders will accept what source. As if you just went to your current bank, for example, who didn't accept cryptocurrency as a source of deposit, and that's the only thing you had, the application would get declined, and that's the last thing you want. So in order to avoid all that, make sure you contact an independent mortgage advisor from the outset. So the only other thing I found that some lenders were not particularly happy with was if the deposit actually came from overseas. Now this is mostly the case if it comes in the form of a gift or a loan from an overseas company. So if it's your own funds that you're simply just keeping in an overseas account, most lenders will be okay with that, as long as you can obviously prove all the funds and kind of where they came from. Some will also want a legitimate reason as to why those funds are abroad. So for example, if you're a foreign national living in the UK and you obviously have some accounts abroad still, obviously that's a reasonable explanation for you having some savings overseas. However, if you are a UK UK national, born and bred, and you've got an account in Switzerland, for example, that could raise alarm bells with the lender, so they may require further evidence and further proof of how you obtained those funds in the first place. Remember guys, anti-money laundering regulation nowadays is so strict, and lenders will dig as much as they need to in order to comply with those regulations. And trust me, some lenders dig very deep. Now, a lot of people do ask me whether they can use inheritance as a form of deposit for a house. So obviously, if you were unfortunate enough to lose a relative and they left you either some money or some assets that you can then liquidate and convert into cash, you will most likely be able to use that as a deposit for a house. Just remember to have all of the documentation to hand. So anything that shows that it is inherited from obviously your dead relative, make sure you keep all of that documentation because lenders will want to see that. So as long as you've got the proof, you'll be totally fine. Now guys, something to bear in mind here is if you have a lot of cash savings, so they're not in any bank account, they're literally under your bed in a suitcase or whatever it may be, lenders do not like that. And the reason for that is because unless you've got a legitimate reason for those funds being in cash and you can prove that, so I'll give you an example here. If you get paid in cash from your employment and instead of putting that into a bank account, you simply just save the cash. You know, I used to do that with my first job. I was paid in cash and I used to just save that cash. Now, if that's the case for you as well, make sure you keep the pay slips and any P60s that you have to show the amount that you've actually earned and that it corresponds with the amount that you've actually saved. Now, if you've got a chunk of cash without any proof as to where that cash actually came from, and trust me, lenders will dig for it, they will check your bank statements, they will check everything, so there's no going around it, then you won't be able to use those funds towards your deposit. So make sure any savings are from a legitimate source. So on that note guys, we're going to end this video here. If you enjoyed it, if you found it useful, please hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel for more mortgage and finance content. I upload every Monday and every Friday, so you get regular content on a weekly basis. As always, if you've got any further questions, do pop them in the comment section down below. Alternatively, feel free to email me directly. All my contact details are just in the description box below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys back on Friday with a brand new video. Bye guys!